Where is this wood? What is this?
Leah Wensink has been renovating and reselling homes for 7 years.
Nope, see? Garbage. This is a huge step outside my comfort zone. I don't know if I will make any money on this house.
The house she's working on is located here in East Tennessee.
This is definitely the most I've ever paid for a flip.
Does that have you worried?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love them so much because they're lightweight.
Wensink says she bought this home for around $170,000 and spent another 30 grand renovating it, with more expenses to come.
It should fit.
She said she won't list it for less than $350,000.
I am very worried about being able to sell the house for what I need in order to compensate for my time. I think it is getting a lot tighter to try to meet your margin if you have it, like a margin in goal. That's good.
That's because of rising costs. Home prices, materials, and labor have all spiked in the last year.
Flippers, they're affected pretty dramatically by supply chain and labor issues in the market.
Todd Tita is an executive at Atom Data Solutions, which puts out a quarterly report on the house flipping market.
Flipping is becoming increasingly more difficult, and good operators are going to have to create value by rehabbing their homes intelligently, buying at a discount, as opposed to just riding the wave of rising prices like everybody else has been doing for the last 18 months.
Wensink says working in a smaller community gives her an advantage.
Coming to a smaller town allows me to feel like I'm not so competitive with everyone. I'm hoping that there's not going to be a ton of people coming in and trying to take over and just buying every house and flipping it. Thank you, ma'am. I don't think for me it would be possible to flip a house in Nashville. I just don't think I have the capital. I don't think I'd have the resources or ability to compete. I just don't think it's possible.
So here in Nashville, I'd say that there's a really high number of flips.
Matt Eden flips houses part-time in Madison, Tennessee, a Nashville suburb.
My first flip was only a little over a year ago, and I definitely learned a ton through that process. So we're at a flip here in Madison. We just closed on this about a week ago. Every flip really has its different issues. Most of mine have some sort of substantial damage. This is probably one of the worst. So we're gonna be headed over to another one of my flips. The inspector is there. He inspects the work to ensure that it's complete, and then he gives me the next draw of money from the lender. The toughest part about being a flipper is really the unknown and the what if. What if we open the walls and there's major termite damage? What if I have to switch contractors mid-job? Really the anxiety, I guess, of flipping is probably the hardest part.
And new electrical panel.
You have to be pretty adventurous from a financial perspective. You have to be willing to accept a little bit of risk.
The downside risk for a flipper is price declines. We don't see that happening. What we do see happening is leveling out. Some markets may show some decline, some softness. It's all going to come down to experienced flippers knowing how much to rehab a home and then pricing it correctly.
I've got about $700,000 worth of debt at the moment.
But you're not worried about it, or?
No, I'm not worried about it simply because I know what the properties are going to be worth once they're done, and I don't see the bottom falling out of this market anytime soon.
It's important to just take your time and hit it in the center. I'm always worried that there's gonna be a recession, and then what value will this be? But at least still I'm like, well, it's still, you're holding property, which is at least gonna have some value in this world, I hope. So I have to try to take comfort in that. I try to talk myself off the ledge a lot.